bacteria without a cell body. It is basically the DNA that exists in a bacteria's nucleus, but engineered in its own unique way. When a bacteria lacks a cell body, the nucleus usually dies, by unraveling and breaking apart into smaller and smaller pieces as it encounters the environmental factors that cause breaks to form along its continuous chain of genetic information. A mycoplasma, however, keeps its DNA preserved as one piece. It doesn't fall apart. It continues to exist without a cell body and implements its code of genetic instructions onto the molecules it encounters in the world. I have not done the science, but my brain has computed what I have directly observed since 1989, when Dirty Crank hit California. Dirty Crank hit the streets of California for 2 years. It had the Morgellon fibers in it. The public campaign for MethBugs hit television around 1994, a few years after the Dirty Crank stopped coming around. This was not an accident, defect, or mutation. It was put into dope on purpose. Follow the dope, and follow the commercial fundings for the MethBugs. You will know I am telling the truth. I know what I saw. I know what I have lived through. I am smarter than the average dog. Morgellons is a mycoplasma. Put simply, it is just a coiled up segment of DNA that can remain in one piece without a cell body. The mycoplasma known as Morgellons disease preserves itself inside of structures that form from plasmid loops that get copied into place one after the other. This forms a tube-like structure for the mycoplasma to exist. It creates a barrier between the mycoplasma and the outside world. Plasmids are small loops of genetic material. Morgellons generates and stacks these loops to make a cylinder-shaped body. This body contains patterns of DNA in the plasmid's circular direction. It also produces patterns of DNA in vertical directions as these circular patterns stack up one upon another. This is the property of this disorder that has made it so difficult for the very few number of scientists studying it to be able to find anything conclusive about this disease. They can test and search the mycoplasma's genetic sequence and find nothing special. End of study. But if the vertical patterns could somehow be deciphered, maybe they would give some insight. No money is spent to study this beast, so we may never know until it is too late. I hope somebody out there with more knowledge and money than I have can put my ideas to the test. The fibers easily become airborne. When the fibers land on the cannabis plant, they eventually become a linear sequence of clear and milky white nodules. Eventually, the nodules become round eggs that hatch into the dreaded western thrip. These eggs hatch, and the thrips begin an infestation. That's what I saw with my own 2 eyes as best as I can tell from the 15 years of observations made under the microscope. I will not describe why I think my last fear is true, but it is a monster that grows inside our chest. It grows in a dormant stage. I have a hunch that when they activate the beast, we are all going to die within minutes. I am being harassed by gang stalkers heavily. It happens all the time. On one particular day, I had hundreds of the Morgellons black specks pop their way out of my skin. This happened at my lowest moment in the gang stalking, and I barely pulled through it. I know that they were activated inside me in some way, possibly by radiation from a satellite or device, or it may have been a certain chemical in my body that activated the movements. It was certainly done by my perpetrators. The stalkers turned on the movements somehow. It is military in origin. And the perfect population control would be to take this disease, inoculate everyone on Earth, and when the desired number of people have a dormant beast inside them, they will activate it and we will die. They have the technology. I hope you don't wait until they activate the beast to find out I am right. Please investigate this possibility. This is the perfect way to kill off the population all at once and without one single bullet. Morgellons disease is part of the mind control gang stalking program operated by the New World Order.